Hello everyone, I am once again talking with my partner Fox
Hey, it's me, I'm Fox.
about anime that we watched together. This is just a conversation that we would have anyway, but we put a microphone in front of it, and if you don't like it, you can pound sand.
Would you like some opinions? We got opinions.
I am the kind of person who made a PowerPoint presentation for a conversation with his partner, and that's just everyone else's problem at this point. Alright, there may be some pauses if the dog noise gets too much. You know, you'll cope. Again, you're coming along to my PowerPoint party. Anyway, 2025 anime season 4. I've given up on naming them by the actual time of year because I don't know and I don't care.
It's fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Yeah. It's the one with December in it.
And Talen knows if he calls it winter, he's going to make me kind of sad.
It's not winter. But the other thing is, winter is the only one that I can keep straight because Americans won't shut up about, oh, look, it's all snowy. Oh, the sun is dying. Oh, shut up. I'm melting. But the thing is, what's the order the other 3 seasons come in? I know that autumn's next to both of them, but I don't know in what order that goes. So, anyway.
Okay.
We move on with our lives.
I was not expecting that to be the...
No, it doesn't. Autumn's not
fine.
next to it. You know, I'm not good with seasons because I live in a country which has 16 seasons, but most of them are the hot one.
Autumn is next to winter. It's okay.
Oh.
It comes before winter.
So it's not next to spring and summer, which is what I said. Anyway.
It is next to summer.
Yeah, but it's not next to both.
Oh, it doesn't come between spring and summer.
Yeah.
No, nothing comes between spring and summer.
Yeah, but
Except the other 2 seasons in their appropriate order until it's spring again.
And again, this is all just because people up in the northern hemisphere have basic bitch seasons. Moving on. As a warning, we are going to be talking about anime, and so here is our spoiler warnings. First up, spoiler warnings for Yano-kun's Ordinary Days.
A star brighter than the sun, or the first couple of episodes anyway.
You're giving away what the kinda means. Touring After the Apocalypse.
I know what I did. The dark history of the reincarnated Villainess.
Dusk Beyond the End of the World.
Gnosia! Gnosia?
May I ask for one final thing?
More Ranma 1/2.
Sanda.
Shabake.
Spy X Family Season 3.
And this monster wants to eat me.
Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider.
And Wandance.
Alright. So we're going to do a little pause. Just a little hesitation. So you all can get out of here if you want your spoilers not to go spoiled.
Yeah, we're gonna fully talk about everything in these shows because we have watched all of them. That is available as of the end of December.
Alright, first up we have the 3 we threw out a fucking window.
Talon, would you like to introduce us to the first one?
First up we have Yano-kun's Ordinary Days.
That is Yanokun no Futsu no Hibi.
We have A Star Brighter Than the Sun.
That's Taiyo Yorimo Mabushi Hoshi.
And Touring After the Apocalypse.
Shumatsu Touring.
I have the notes here indicating where these came from and who published them, and I'm going to provide those as a matter of completeness, but trust me, this is padding the bit.
Okay. Oh, are we going to talk about them all just in one chunk, then?
One chunk!
One
Yano-kun's is by Yu Tamura on Kodansha's Comic Days website, so it's effectively a webcomic. Star Brighter Than the Sun is by Kazune Kawahara, and it's on Shuheisei's shoujo manga magazine Besatsu Margaret, and the anime was made by Studio Kai. Touring After the Apocalypse is written and illustrated by Sakae Saito. It began serialization in ASCII Works, Media Works, seinen manga magazine Dengeki Mao, and the anime television production is by Nexus.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so we dropped all 3 of these after, I think, 2 episodes at most.
Did we get to... We got to 4 of Yano-kun, I think.
Oh my god, that's a kindness to Yano-kun.
It was the hardest to draw a line between episodes if you didn't happen to be paying attention.
Yeah, it's
it all
true.
just kind of ran together.
And 2 of them end the same way.
I don't think we made it through the 2nd episode of Star Brighter Than the Sun.
Yeah.
Because we have pretty low tolerance for high school romance stuff, and I in particular have incredibly low tolerance for this girl is upset by the only thing about her which is cool and interesting.
Your Honor, I wish to, I object.
Okay.
I object. We do not actually have a low tolerance for high school anime. We watch a lot of it. What I would forward is we have very high standards, because consider Skip and Loafer, Insomniacs After School, See You at the Food Court.
Technically Shoshimin.
Shoshimin, yes, we absolutely can love a show about a bunch of high schoolers. Oop, we have it. The bailiff is threatening to tackle me.
Oh.
Which is to say, I don't think that it's reasonable to say that you are unfairly critical of this.
No, I meant to say, like, this is probably fun if you like really slice of life stuff.
Yeah.
And I merely meant that we have a low tolerance for it in that it has to be quite special to impress us.
I guess,
Which
yeah.
I think all of the series you just mentioned were.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, it's a high standard, not a low tolerance, I think. Like,
much of a muchness.
yeah, I guess it just depends on where you're focusing, because I do want to highlight those shows that are really good. And it's not that Yano-kun's not bad because it's a high school drama. It's bad because it's boring.
I gave it a chance in the first place because it looks very nice. Like, it's exceptionally well produced. I liked looking at it. I just didn't like watching it very much.
Really, really good direction and character design. The person who had to take manga art that did look like that and make it look like that in motion, good work.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd say it's good character design as such, but
in the very rote design as choices terms of things, like, you are making a thing for a purpose, not you are making a thing to impress a person. Like, you have these designs from the manga, you need to give us model sheets that the animators can go through.
I guess so. And I also don't really find it funny of, like, what if this character continually gets hurt for silly reasons. That was actually quite hard for me to watch. So just after the first episode, it just felt mean.
Yeah.
It just felt mean. Despite how, like, I do like that our girl main character is very normal brain, but even that couldn't really carry it.
So, obviously, I have an extra special dog in this race, in that this is Shikimori's not just a cutie, with the realism ramped up and the hyper real appeal ramped down. She's not able to protect him from flying bullets. She's just able to patch him up afterwards.
She's also, like, exceptionally unspecial. I think that's part of the pitch.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's unspecial in this. No one is Shikimori. No one can be like Shikimori.
Yeah, exactly.
And he isn't as cute as the unnamed boy at the heart of Shikimori. So, like, but the comparison is brutal to this one, because what it means is I am watching this looking for that emotional resonance, not the spectacle. And it just doesn't have it. And then it changes into almost like a Ranma 1/2 thing with Ryoga, where I'm like, at a certain point, dude, the problem is you don't pay attention to your surroundings.
I think in the first episode you were just like, this guy just has a motor neuron disorder.
Yeah.
And then you find out his dad has it too, and you're like, okay, this is
just
genetic. You guys need a doctor.
Yeah, you just...
Like, you're probably right.
You probably have a mineral deficiency.
It's kind of not funny.
Yeah, and like, not in a way that makes me go, well, hey,
this is not problematic.
They ruined this. But just like...
I can't laugh at it.
Yeah, there's nothing here that I actually find funny, because it doesn't feel like bad luck. Like, that indeed, something in Shikimori, like, the stuff that he gets subjected to is completely outrageous, and therefore the stuff that Shikimori saves him from is equally ludicrous.
Yeah, the fact that it's not realistic means that you... Like, it doesn't invite that interpretation of just that there is actually something wrong with you.
Yep. Plus, I have a thing for anime where the couples are on wildly different levels of attractiveness, and she may not be anything special, but he's less.
I don't. I like it when they kind of deserve each other, which I feel like these two do. Yeah. And so do the Star Brighter Than the Sun kids.
Yeah.
Who are the most tediously inevitable romance I've ever seen, and that show is not nearly as pretty as Yano-kun.
Yeah, and I really hated Star Brighter Than the Sun after one episode.
I'm surprised it pissed you off that much.
So, The summary is akin, like you described it already completely correctly. It's an anime about a girl who has anxiety about the one thing about her that's interesting in a world of generic characters, and the whole point of this anime is imagine if this boy could make me feel even more generic. And the big thing about it is she is slightly tall and he is slightly taller, which is unremarkable.
Yeah, like they used to be interesting back when they were kids and she was remarkably taller than him.
Yeah.
But, you know, now he's all grown up, so he's an appropriate male cishet love interest height, and that's that.
So, let me tell you about one of the worst movies I've ever watched.
Oh, please.
Netflix has a pipe of media through which various projects just slough. They land on the service. As far as I can tell, no one ever watches them, and they exist to fulfill some sort of, no doubt, money laundering level of corruption. Okay? And this means you get movies with the strangest vehicle to them. There are a lot of horror movies that happen this way, that if you dig into them, you find out it's because someone tried to make a horror movie out of literally a meme or a ghost story they heard as a kid. And very little actual sinew. Very few things that are being approached with someone having an idea, but just there is the facile representation of something like a celebrity attached to something like an idea. If you remember in BoJack Horseman, the idea of Mr. Peanut Butter doing Happy Birthday Dad, the whole TV series based on a greeting card, it's that same kind of absolute nothing media. There was a reality TV show in which one of the contestants was a young woman and she was tall. And this led to the Netflix TV series Netflix romance movie called Tall Girl.
Oh, boy.
Tall Girl is one of the worst movies I've ever watched. It made me want to just open fire on Netflix offices, allegedly. And it's not a good thing at all. Every point in it is terrible. But at least in that, they were smart enough to go, at the end of the movie, she needs to look at the taller boy than her, who's a scumbag, who gives her that appropriate place, and the boy who's shorter than her, who in a show of confidence bought her high heels, and go, oh, okay, here's the choice. Right? That movie is 90 minutes long, with the credits, and it has a better idea of tall girl story than this shit.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they did something to redeem it by the end, but the single episode we sat through was so... It also
if
was
it
the
had
most
anything
tropey...
to redeem it, they would have shown us anything in the first episode.
I don't know that
The
that's
first episode is you can do that whole first episode in the 30 seconds before you show the first credits.
I don't know if you noticed this, Talen, but the whole... well, okay, aside from the flashback, because don't forget they opened the first episode with, like, probably 13 minutes or so of flashback to tell us, like, the episode
obvious
starts,
things you obviously know.
they introduce the girl character, and then she reads us a book about her life up until this point.
Nothing happened.
But the stuff that actually happens in that episode, I don't know if you were watching, it happens in the opening of Ranma this season as a bit.
Yeah.
So, if you want to know what level of just following the trope script precisely this show is on, it is on the level of being a joke in another anime's opening.
Yeah, an anime that at the time was famous for filler. Anyway, the other thing is, this anime has a genuinely cool conceit in it, which is the two different art styles for when they have him and when they have her flashing back to her past, where they are drawn in a more childish art style.
Oh, yeah, I guess
right? That's a cool thing. Do they do dick anything with it?
Well, it's just for flashbacks.
Yeah.
Which I assume means there's going to be a shitload more flashbacks.
Uh-huh.
And they wanted to make sure we always know which time stream we're in. But I'm not going to find out.
In the manga, I get it. Because in manga, you need a lot of very clear ways to signal when you're doing multi-threaded stories. Especially if you're doing a long one. Because you're going to be jumping back and forth a lot. But in the anime, especially when you have the all-time, all-purpose twinkly-winkly sound to indicate that this is a different time... I don't know. Deeply enraging.
Also, neither of those art styles is cute enough to justify anything they're doing.
Yeah,
Anyway.
and he's a 3. Anyway. Touring with you after the apocalypse?
I just wanted this to be a comfier version of Kino's Journey, and it's not.
It's a boringer version of Girls' Last Tour.
Probably, yeah. I should probably just go watch that instead.
No.
Which I didn't watch at the time, because I'm like, I don't really like how these girls are drawn. And then for some reason I picked this up instead, even though I recall my initial response to it being, I don't really like how these girls are drawn. And then finding out that the little one is, you know, a murder death robot. And
Yeah. It should be intriguing. Somehow it's not.
It's not. It's just not. I don't even know if I want to talk that much about this one, because I honestly can't remember a whole bunch of what's going on. Some silly things happened. It didn't make a lot of sense. As in, the reason characters did things didn't make a lot of sense.
We watched 4 episodes of it because you wanted to see what the deal was with the teacher character.
And then I just figured I didn't care enough. She's an AOA or something, whatever.
I mean, you know, this is a genre that needs filling. It's just this is a packing peanut.
There's an intriguing thing where the conceit is that the main character is tracing someone else's footsteps, and there's sort of videos or flashbacks or constructed memories of this other person going there before the apocalypse, and we're not really sure if we're seeing something that's happened or something that she wishes had happened or something that she's fantasizing about. But I just, after a few episodes, realized I didn't like watching it enough to find out.
Rightio. Alright, so that's the stuff we just
Let's move on to some
sampled
fun stuff.
and ditched, and now we're on to just the hits. Speaking of hits, Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider.
Tojima Tanzaburo wa Kamen Rider ni naritai.
Yep, it's by Yokosaru Shibata, thanks to Toei Company and Ishimori Productions, who have to get involved because, oh my, the licensing otherwise. This was printed on Hero Inc.'s Seinen Monthly Heroes until that magazine collapsed in 2020.
Oh.
For no reason. Then it moved to Comiplex. The anime was made by Leiden. This, I'll go first, especially because I have the notes, and this is one where the names are actually pretty hard to remember. The main character is Tojima Tanzaburo, who is basically a 40-year-old otaku who has been obsessing over the idea of being Kamen Rider his whole life. And when we say otaku, I really do mean otaku, as in like he is a dude who has basically done nothing but live in his house.
Look at this poster.
Yeah. If you think, oh, that must be a joke outfit and he gets something cool later. No. The premise of the show, and this is one of the reasons why I put up spoiler warnings, is that at first it looks like you're going to watch just a mentally unwell guy imagine himself Kamen Rider and beat up random strangers. And then it turns out that there are people doing actual crimes dressed as Shocker, the villains from Kamen Rider, which is, ooh, that's mysterious. What the hell? And then he finds out there are other people just as weird as him who are also dressing up as Kamen Rider characters and getting involved. They wind up including Yuriko Okada, who cosplays as Tackle, Ichio and Mitsuba Shimamura, who cosplay V3 and Riderman, though really saying he cosplays V3 is...
Another more different Kamen Rider.
Saying he cosplays V3 is massively underselling the actual craft of cosplay. He's a dude. He's just a dude.
Nobody here is really cosplaying except for Tackle.
Tackle is the only person with some commitment to the bit.
Yeah.
And they then find, no, really, Shocker is real, and it's killing and disappearing people to hide the presence of Shocker. Now, the problem with this show is that it's the first of 2 core. So, it's a legitimately interesting show, and I do like it, but also it kind of just peters out in the story elements, because, like, we've got to get to... You know, you're not going to get anything in episode 12. You're going to get it in episode 13, and then 14, and then in 26 or 24.
When it was episode 11 and they were on the 3rd episode of the tournament arc, we did realize that this was not going to be a single core.
Yeah, well, I thought there was a way they could pull it out. Like, the villains could show up at the tournament arc while they're all beaten up.
But that's about the only thing they could have done.
Uh-huh.
And then we would have missed out on some of the best stuff in the show, which is, What's-Her-Face's big sister.
Well, and yes, this is also where the big spoiler, the real big spoiler of this thing, I said we needed a spoiler warning, and that's why we do it, but the real big spoiler is this was made by the same guy who made Airmaster, who is just a big freak, just a gigantic freak of a mangaka, and you're not going to get a 12-episode anime out of this weirdo. Airmaster had 36 episodes. It needed 3 seasons, and it ended on a cliffhanger.
Oh, that's wild, considering that nothing ever happened in Airmaster, just
Something-
more and more fights.
Something happened in every episode of Airmaster. Don't you remember the conspiracy theory? Oh my god. But,
No, I remember titties and crying.
yeah, that is about the level of the first
And horrible, brutal violence.
Yes.
Where just so many fluids coming out of so many people. And if you like that about Airmaster, good news! There are so many fluids coming out of so many Kamen Rider nerds.
Yes, it's a wet series.
It's so wet, and it's not sparing its female characters. It is not...
Yeah.
It's not giving people, like, cool, heroic injuries and reaction shots.
No.
It's disgusting.
Yep.
Everyone looks awful and stupid. It's kind of like superhero cringe a lot of the time.
There are... One of my favorite things about this is that the first time everyone gets hit, you can see it every single time. The first time someone really gets hit, they vomit. Because that happens
Also
the first
true.
time anyone's in a real fight. It's not a matter of like where you get punched. It's your body dumps adrenaline and your stomach is like, gotta go.
Shit's nasty.
And this
And I
series-
have to respect it for that.
yeah. But also, you know, you think you're going to watch a fun series about a 40-year-old millennial struggling with hitting middle age and fighting crime as a costume superhero, but surprise, it's actually about how important dominant, powerful women are in the fight against Nazism and how they should absolutely be allowed to marry each other. And I'm not joking.
Oh, well, I look forward to seeing which girls marry each other in this one, then.
Airmaster's the manga, like I shouldn't say the mangaka, I should say his name. Shibata is a freak, and I love it. In true elusive samurai.
I was gonna say, as we learned from Elusive Samurai.
Yeah, a normal guy can never beat a real pervert. And this is an anime for perverts, not the kind of perverts you think of when I say that. This isn't like a low-key hentai, but this is absolutely for the kind of people who watch cosplayers punch the shit out of each other in LARPs and go, that's hot.
There are some absolutely fucking ridiculous titties and some
Yeah.
quite gratuitous turns.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's sillier than it is sexy.
Yeah.
It's like, at no point was I like, well, that's here for people who just want to fap to this. No, those are objects of comedy that you cannot really see them as real breasts.
Yeah, and
Which is why this doesn't get a Fat Tits Award.
yeah, and also the characters in general. Like, I think this artist thinks all these characters are hot. I don't think he's done, here are the hot women and here are some guys. I think every single guy in this is meant to be sexy.
This does feel like from my perspective, they're kind of sixes with sixes, because the art style's not that good.
Right.
But, everyone's more or less on the same bar.
Yeah.
The older sister who stands head and shoulders above everyone is just because she's the only one who's not fully deranged.
Technically,
But, wait a minute, she might be.
also technically she's a little sister, and yeah.
Oh,
Again,
yeah,
big
she
freak.
is. She is the younger one, technically, isn't
But
she?
also just
She
giant
doesn't
freak.
read that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love these characters. The series itself, it's weird. I kind of feel like I wouldn't mind watching an abridged version of this. Like, I don't need the whole tournament arc,
Yeah, that's about right.
but you know what? It's fine.
I wouldn't say it's a good show, and I might not even say that I liked it, but I was compelled to continue watching, because it kept doing shit I didn't expect, and I have to give it credit for that.
I would almost, I would not say this of you, but I offer this phrase. It demands respect.
Yes.
Because,
yeah, I think that's fair.
Consider all the 70s animation. Like when they're emulating shots from a 70s TV
Oh,
show,
God,
they
yeah.
ramp down the
Forgot
frame
about
rate.
that. There's so many things where they have animated stuff that was in the TV show, but they've animated the footage from the TV show, not Like, there's a missile that goes off in one shot, and it doesn't go off like a missile would go off in an anime. It goes off like a fucking firework would go off in a low-budget TV show.
Yeah,
because that's what it was!
They've replicated the frames of the television program, not the scene of the story. Which, just so much work, and the thing you get out of it is a terrible transformation sequence and a firework going off, and I don't know, again, demands respect.
And everything about it that feels predictable turns out to not be. Which, once again, I have to respect that. From the pitch, I was like, well, I mean, there's a girl here, and she's also being a Kamen Rider, but girls don't do well in Kamen Rider. This is going to be sad and humiliating, and she will mostly be there so we can see her not sexy under... Oh, okay. That's how you're going to do the tournament arc? Wild. Oh,
and make no mistake, she is there to be humiliated.
Everyone is.
Everyone
is. My God.
Because this is a show for perverts.
Everyone is going to get their shit ground into the dirt.
Anyway, you good?
Yeah, let's go.
Speaking of a show for perverts, here's a show that made a generation of perverts.
Famously for perverts.
This is Ranma 1/2, or Ranma Nibonoichi by Rumiko Takahashi.
Talen knows this one.
Yep. Originally published in Shonen Sunday by Shogakukan, published in 1987 to 1996. It had an 18-episode anime in 1999. And then, when that got cancelled, they retooled and in the same year started the second anime, which ran for 143 weekly episodes from 1989 to 1992.
Now, I thought I heard you say 1999, so
89.
I'm guessing I misheard that.
1989, my bad. And this version is Season 2 of the 2024 reboot of Ranma 1/2, making it technically the third Ranma 1/2 TV series, but also the sixth animated Ranma thing that isn't a movie? Because there were 3 OAV series.
Yes, there were that.
I have notes for everything in this presentation. I have no notes on this one. I know this. I know all the characters in this one.
There's also not a lot here to cover that we didn't talk about when the first season of this aired. This remains a beautiful, extremely faithful to the source material, with some cultural sensitivity tweaks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. It was great when we talked about it last time. It's still great. If you like Ranma, this is fucking awesome. If you don't, there's nothing this will do for you.
Yeah, and like, it it can't fix any of the deepest problems Ranma has, which is that fundamentally a lot of Ranma is some really messed up ideas, but it's such a good version of what it is. And also, if you're the kind of person who's like, oh, I've seen this story before, you have, but do check out, maybe they're up on YouTube somewhere, every episode opens with a little gag bumper that just expresses something of the ideas of the world as it reintroduces every episode the audience to the character of Ranma and the nature of the curse and how he's related to Akane. Just because it's embarrassingly high concept now.
Ukyo's here.
Yeah.
Best girl has arrived.
And we got to see the modern adaptation version of Moose, who's kind of hot.
I mean, Moose has always been pretty hot. It's just a shame he sucks.
Yep.
But, that's most of Ranma's cast, so, I can't single him out or anything.
The worst character has been introduced, which is Hapasai.
Hapasai, yes. Obviously.
But there was honestly a conversation about, hey, do you think they'll skip Hapasai this time? But Hapasai is the instigator for so much stuff. And, like, if you're going to do a faithful interpretation of the manga, you've got to keep him around, even though he is absolutely the worst. And, like, it's really easy to go, haha, he's the worst, but then you have to take a momentary step back and go, Jesus Christ, this is an archetype common enough that a Japanese woman from the 1950s looked at this guy and went, oh yeah, we all know that guy.
He also kind of serves to make Genma and Son look less awful.
Yeah.
Because if you take them in the light of, this is the guy they were shaped by.
Yeah.
They're not doing too bad overall.
Yep. Sun's still rich, though, so fuck him.
He has an estate.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I noticed about this season was that the climax episodes included a fight between Ranma and Moose. with a lot of like spear work and stuff, and the combat animation was legitimately some of the best I saw this season.
Yep.
It was really good, and that's not really something Ranma has done in animation historically, because they've usually been working with fuck all budgets.
Yep. Also, this season. They go to the beach. We get one of the first beach arcs, in which case we get the first appearance of Ranma's gusset-hugging boy One Piece.
Oh
swimsuit.
yeah, the classic.
Yeah. A lot of people are asking questions. My gusset-hugging boy swimsuit has already answered.
Yeah, Ranma, I don't think is an intentionally queer text, but it's certainly an accidentally queer one.
I kind of love how knowing more about like a trans model of gender has made understanding and talking about Ranma 1/2 shitloads easier. Yeah, he's got tits. Who cares? It's that's a thing that some guys have anyway. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Spy X Family!
Spy X Family! Another expedition into unsurprising greatness.
By Tatsuya Endo, published by Shuseisha in the Shonen Jump Plus app. This isn't in Shonen Jump proper.
The Shueisha by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
That's okay. I'm not trying to roll you.
Which means that Spy X Family, this manga, this really good manga, is not considered quite as hardcore for the Shonen Jump readership as Akane Banashi, which is a manga about a girl doing amateur theater. Now, for this, in my notes, there is just one note, which is the spy whose name Fox will forget is called Nightfall or Fiona.
Asses to you, I remembered her name.
Oh no, my cold shot I missed. Okay.
Because she chose it deliberately based on Twilight.
Yeah.
She's a nerd.
Yeah. Alright, well fine, never mind.
I liked her getting to do some cool shit this season. That was nice. I was previously very mid on her.
Yep. Well, she was a villain in her first introduction, and then she was a bozo.
I mean, kind of.
Well, actually, no, she wasn't a bozo. In the first appearance, she was the villain of the arc, and then in her second appearance, she was just kind of an inconvenience. Now, this is when we get to see her being a bozo.
I mean, none of that bothers me. She was a bozo all along. She was always doing the fangirling like a fucking teenager.
Yeah.
And that's what brought her down for me. I don't love that. But, you know, in this season, she turned out to be a true freak. And what have we learned?
A normal guy can never beat a real pervert.
Never be a real pervert. Also, more of Anya being a big damn hero, which I always love.
Yeah.
It was a light season for Yor, which was a bit unfortunate. But, you know, she did own the previous seasons.
Yeah.
So,
She got a movie.
It's fine, I guess.
And this season has like 2 episodes that are flashback to explain the childhood of Lloyd. So yeah, this is understandable.
Yeah, she's just not focal for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Which once again, it's fine. It's fine, I guess. I was really happy that the episode 13, or was it 12? Anyway, the last episode we watched in this season had some very cute hanging around at home kind of stuff in it, because that was largely missing from this season.
That rules, yeah.
We got there eventually, and it was like nice, cozy little wrap up to the core.
Spy Family's biggest problem is that every single part of it is so good that every season is going to have a moment of like, oh, they didn't get around to more of one of the great things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bond is a seal.
Yeah.
Or a porpoise of some kind, I'll say.
Yep.
I love all the Bonds.
Yep.
Yay!
All right. So we've had a good joyful period. We've had a delight.
Yeah.
Ready? Braced?
Yeah.
Dusk Beyond the End of the World.
Oh boy.
Or
Toa no Yugre.
is by Nakatsu Tsuda from PA Works. To celebrate being 25 years old, which makes sense because my writing was shit when I was 25 too.
You were already better than this when you were 25.
I don't know. I
do.
Your Honor.
I was here watching.
Yeah. No, Dusk Beyond the End of the World is effectively this is an animator forward show. Like they made a thing so that they could show off how good a job they were showing off. But the problem is that it follows in the footsteps of a previous look at how good we are, look how long we've been around anime of Metallic Rouge, which is to say, it's an anime about synthetic humanoids written by a complete fucking ninny.
This has the dumbest apocalypse in it.
Yeah.
Quick summary, I guess. Our main character there, his name is Akira, wakes up from like cold sleep or something in a post-apocalyptic world, and immediately has a girl trying to bone him. Her name is Yugure, and she's a killer robot.
But he doesn't have eyes for the killer robot, despite the fact that she looks exactly like who he does have eyes for, because...
Oh, he's a sister fucker.
Yes, he's looking for his sister.
Yeah. Adopted sister who he was going to marry, and it was all very acceptable.
The coward's incest.
The coward's incest, exactly. Anyway, so now he's up on a journey to find her, because for some reason he's sure she survived the apocalypse too. And you know what? Looking back, I don't know if he immediately goes, well, she clearly built this android who looks exactly like her. Because that's what I thought. But he's really dumb. So
he's really dumb.
He might not have noticed. I don't know. Anyway. And then they pick up this girl who looks like a child, but she has really huge tits. So she's not a child. Don't worry about it.
Do you want her name?
Her name is Amor.
Okay, cool.
You can tell because it's Amor. Which is all she fucking does here. She is a third wheel to their relationship who is in love with both of them. But, you know, a little bit more him. Not that they're trying to normalize this, because in this world, it's totally normal for everyone to be in big queer polycules. That's how they do relationships. The idea of only marrying one person is unheard of.
Yep. We then proceed to meet 6 different people who've married only one person. We meet 2 people who've married their sister.
And they've all married someone of an opposite gender.
Yep. That's not fair. There is the gay couple that own the
hot shit! No, yes, it's true. I've lied. There is a lesbian couple. You do not meet a gay man.
One pair of named lesbians. I don't know. Like, actually breaking down what's bad about this series would take a lot of time, and I don't feel like it's worth it.
No, but I'm so mad at it.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the thing. We just sit here and list shitty things it has in it. Like, you know, it's got a laser sword battle in the first episode, and the next time you see a laser sword is 7 episodes later.
They do establish that they can do cool superhuman robot stuff and then try to avoid doing it as much as possible. The central task of going and looking for the sister is just incredibly boring, and that should be like a fun road trip concept, but they just managed to make it not very fun a lot of the time. Maybe because none of these characters has much character in them.
No.
Yugure wants to marry Akira. I am uncertain of any other... Well, I'm uncertain of any personality trait she has, because that's not a personality trait. Akira wants to find his sister. I am uncertain of any personality traits he has, because that's not a personality trait.
All the personalities in Amaru, who they very clearly don't think is a real person.
They really sideline. They spend the whole fucking anime being, like, you know, having romantic moments, just them together, and her constantly feeling left out, but they don't actually want to just, like, definitively exclude her. Like, they still let her buy them all matching gifts and you know, continue in her very obvious hope that they will be together. It's a little awkward as to whose fault that really is, but then in like the second last episode, they have Dad and God and you basically, because, well, we get the spoiler warning, because Akira's not a human who survived the apocalypse in cryosleep. He's an android with the memories of the real Akira, so he's not a sister fucker, actually.
Yeah.
Until he marries this android, because they're essentially sisters now. But
yep.
It's don't worry about it.
The coward's incest.
Anyway, so they meet the original one, and he's like, what do you do? Like, you know, have a long, hard think about this. Single one-person marriage is entirely outdated, and it's stupid, and you need to really look inside yourself. And also, did the third wheel in your romance just go crazy and get transported into a robot body to try and kill and or fuck you? And it goes off the fucking rails. There's a 7-year time skip where she takes care of both of them while they are effectively in robot comas, and they wake up and piss off immediately.
Yeah.
Just sort of
They
like,
just abandon it.
no, we gotta get back to our boring journey to find our boring, stupid goals, which is so... Why do we want to find them? The idea is like, we want to find where the apocalypse happened. It doesn't matter!
It happened everywhere.
It's very obvious.
And this is also the episode after they found out. They know what happened.
It's maddening.
Yeah, it's... This would be a bad first draft. There's a lot of writing advice I can give. Like, if you watch this series, there's a lot of writing advice I can give based on not doing what this series does. Like, for example, instigating incident. Hypothetically, your story should exist in a world where things are happening as they normally do. And one incident changes the course of everyday normal to start the story that you are following. Now, that doesn't have to be an obvious, convenient thing of like, one day the blessed sword of the Holy Emperor arrived. It can be something much subtler, like one day twins were born where there was only going to be one child and everything else in the story follows along from that.
It also doesn't have to be the main character's status quo that gets disrupted. They can be the disruption. Like, him waking up and now we have to do something about this guy. That's quite a good starting point.
Yeah, but this one sets it up so that the question of the instigating incident is, why did the apocalypse happen and what did it do? And the answer to both of those questions isn't interesting, and it involves tons of extra stuff. You couldn't work out how this apocalypse happened without either one, a very broad generic guess of some kind of apocalypse happened and they made robot girls to solve it, or guessing 17 different specific things about one sister fucker and her values, which are also completely cracked. Just a deeply unreal human who can have the opinions she does about transhumanism and also, my womb doesn't work, I'm less than a human now.
I was gonna call that out as being one of the big fucking signs you would put on don't write this. Because don't fucking do a story about a woman who is sad because she can't have baby, alright?
But what about womb?
Do it. Maybe if you yourself are a woman who is sad because she cannot have baby, maybe then you're allowed to write it.
Yeah.
But if you're just some guy writing a sci-fi thing about robot sister fuckers, don't write that. Don't do it. You're not allowed.
This would be a better show if it was trashier.
This would be a better show if they hadn't told us anything about how the apocalypse happened. Everything we found out made it worse, because the chain of events is monumentally dumb. It's like, what if we put AI nanomachines into people? Oh no, people can get hacked now. What if we made completely artificial humans to solve that somehow? That'll probably work.
Oh no, they got hacked by ideology!
Hey, look, it worked, but it didn't really work. Maybe it did work? I don't know anymore, but the only person who can solve this is me with my giant brain.
I love,
and I'm gonna kill myself because I can't have babies.
I love one of the ideas in this for like why the apocalypse happened is robots experienced racism. Which, like, fair reaction, but also, like, that should probably be more of a theme in the rest of the story.
Oh, right. Also, the post-apocalyptic world is overseen by a fascist dictatorship who starts at, we will wipe out this entire village of normal, happy people to keep this one thing a secret in the first episode. And by the final episode is, we will literally let the heroes walk in. We will send someone to meet them and go, hello, welcome, come in.
And we will demilitarize and hand over power because we were asked to.
And also, the fucking Grandpa Real Human version of main character is still alive and still technically in charge of the fascist fucking dictatorship.
Yeah.
That just, sexually assaults children.
Yeah.
We see that happen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we see them threaten to do it. They definitely would have fucking done it.
Yeah, this anime is worse than you think. And it's not even as pretty as it thinks.
No, God, no. I hate all the androids' designs. They have the ugliest.
What do you mean, the androids' design?
Well, I mean, they all have one body, but all the costumes and stuff, they're awful. They're tacky as fuck. They're ridiculous, like JRPG costumes in the midst of people who look kind of like normal humans. They're completely impractical, and not just in ways that you could get around by being an android, like high heels, whatever. Okay, you have super balance, fine. But they just have dumb shit going on. And Aru's costume is a fucking poncho over underwear. The poncho is tied to her wrist, so whenever she uses her arm, she basically removes her clothes.
By the way, finger in the page about ridiculous outfit design. This whole thing, again, like just telling you things that are in it that happen is it like there. Okay, so let me offer a piece of praise.
Uh-huh.
All right, there is a story in this series of road trips where a guy has an unhappy relationship with his wife, and they have kids, and he comes to our heroes as like, I need your help renewing my marriage and making everything right, and they give him some advice, and you think it's going to set up to like, we're going to see a heartwarming moment where he goes to his wife and he does something nice, and then that resolves itself, and he does it, and he goes to his wife and he does the thing that's nice, and she says, you have no idea who I am, I'm leaving with the kids. And I was honestly pretty happy about that.
That was one of the best things that happened in this show, because they didn't pull back from it or anything.
The fact that she ditches him over the fact that she did cheat on her, and she's still upset about that. But the big thing that like kicks it off is him going, well, I'll bring you orange blossoms to show my love because that's your favorite tree. And it turns out it's not. It never has been.
No.
And for the whole of their marriage, he's been convinced he knows what her favorite tree is. And he's wrong. Because he doesn't listen. And she doesn't care.
Yeah, he's kind of a big dumb bozo.
Anyway, we won't decide with him. She disappears from the story at that point.
I don't know if we are, or if what we're meant to... Because he pretty much disappears, too.
We see him in the final points.
Yeah.
We don't see her.
Yes, we do.
No?
Yeah, she appears in the Denimal.
Oh, good.
She's just, like, hanging out with the kids.
Good.
And the sad person bags under her eyes are gone, so I assume she's doing better.
Rad. Dump him.
Yes, but I don't know if the whole point was just to do the whole, look, a two-person relationship is a silly thing that you shouldn't hope for. Which is wild, because up until this point, the show has been very actively reinforcing the fact that the only acceptable outcome here is a two-person relationship.
And the
just
best...
again and again, they drive home that that's how this shit should actually work.
And the best ones, the ones you fight for, the ones you bleed for, are with your hot sister.
And definitely no gay men.
Yeah. Anyway, we good?
Yeah, fuck off this.
Yeah. So, speaking of impractical, ridiculous outfits, the dark history of the reincarnated villainess.
Boy, this is trash.
Tensei Akujo no Kuro Rekishi.
Oh, yes, sorry, I'm supposed to be reading those, aren't I? Good save, good save.
By Akihara Toka, published in Lala by Haku Sensha, animated by Studio Dean, who also did the first Ranma series that got cancelled. This one I took
It's
some
been
notes
around
on.
that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Studio Dean have been around since the 70s. They are an ancient beast. They worked with Tezuka.
Can I do the pitch for this one?
Go for it, please.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten to do one yet, and I particularly enjoyed the absolute garbage nonsense of this. This is a twist.
Your Honor, you did do the last one.
Did I?
Yeah, moving
Okay.
on. It's all good.
That doesn't count because it sucked.
Yeah, go on. It's all good. This one shockingly is good.
This is a very welcome twist on the Villainess isekai formula, because normally in those you get reincarnated as the villain that you love from your favorite otome game or whatever. Who, despite the fact that you're normal, she's your favorite character because everyone just, everyone loved the tsundere or the Osho-sama or whatever.
Normies don't get it.
Normies don't get it. But this one is about, what if you got isekai'd into your own god-awful amateur fiction that you wrote when you were, 14, and, all the awful things you thought were good plot ideas, and all the awful costumes you thought were good designs, and all the dumbass contrived, plot conveniences that made your main character the bestest, sweetest angel ever, and all your very regrettable fetish phases you went through when you were 14.
Hey, no regret for having the fetish. Slight regret for sharing it online.
Regret for putting it in my stories.
Because, well, they do make you stronger, because no normal guy can beat a real freak.
That's true, and they have made me stronger.
And this is an anime for perverts, but it's an anime for the thoughtful pervert who can be like, oh, yeah, I remember writing like that.
Oh, no.
Honey, no.
Oh, you write such rapey stuff when you're writing girl fiction.
And then...
the
twist that tops all of that beautiful premise is you then fuck the story up in your first appearance. You just don't remember what's supposed to happen, right? So you just fuck the story.
Well, you're at basically at the moment where you're meant to die, because you've also become the villain, not the self-insert Mary Sue hero.
But your escape from that death means this Mary Sue hero doesn't get her Mary Sue powers.
Never gets her Mary Sue powers.
And all the problems that you set up for her to Mary Sue her way through are still happening.
Oh, fuck. But they're not going to happen predictably anymore. Because you ruined their instigating events.
So you know there's dick wolves, but you don't remember when the dick wolves are going to show up.
Yeah. It's a fundamentally really good pitch. And the deeply sincere levels of cringe with which the main character is afflicted are incredibly relatable.
Even little things like the fact that she has an ordinary body and her sister has gigantic tits.
Her sister, I unironically love the Mary Sue character design because I parodied a Mary Sue magical girl in like my 20s. And I did the same thing of like, let's just put more hair quirks. Like, she doesn't just have Sailor Moon's hairstyle, she also has the Twin Tails hairstyle, but then she also has the fucking Hime cut bangs. It's very funny shit to me.
It's a really... And like...
It is literally a plot device at one point that a male character cannot be made to remove his clothes.
Yes.
Because the design of the costume was so impractical that she went, it's magic!
Yeah, they get dressed with magic because there's no way to put that clothing on. Also, two other extra details. One, this is a really cheap-looking anime.
Oh, cheap as fuck.
I would not be surprised if this anime was actually quite cheap to make.
I believe it.
Not like how Tojima uses expensive animation to replicate cheap TV. I think this was actually quite a cheap show to make.
Yeah.
But also... it's using that so well. Like, it's tied with the genre.
Well, it makes so much fucking sense, because it's a parody of this kind of isekai girl trash.
Yep.
And it's also the shit that you wrote when you were a teenager. You weren't a good artist.
But two, the opening theme where they spend all their animation budget, they also spent some money getting a fucking banger of a song.
It's pretty good. I think it's probably the best OP from this season.
Nah. Still good, but like it's fine.
We can disagree.
Like I'm gonna come to bat for Wednesday Campanella every time.
Actually,
even if
Sanda's very strong.
Yeah, you've got Sanda, you've got Ranma, you've got. May I have one final thing? Ooh, spoilers. You've got a bunch of good openings here. Also, you've got Teddy Lloyd doing 3 different openings, which is wild.
Yeah. That's all. You got to remember, I'm not into electronica. So,
that's true. That's a really good point.
The more extreme examples of that, including Wednesday Campanella.
Yeah, Wednesday Campanella are really...
You've turned me off a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I need the opening to Ranma 1/2 Season 2 is like hovering on the bubble of Fox going, we should skip the opening.
There's almost more volume pumping in it than I can handle. This is a specific audio...
technique?
Not what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for completing my sentence, you rude man.
I thought we were trying to finish each other's sandwiches.
No, I was going to say an audio, and then I was going to ask you to fill in the word for audio thing I can't tolerate, because it has escaped my brain.
A misophonia.
Thank you, yes.
Yeah. Also, while I'm at it, I never finish Fox's sandwiches. Fox's sandwiches are for Fox.
That's my fucking sandwich.
Exactly.
You wouldn't want it anyway. It is boring to you, because I have put one thing and one thing precisely on it. Well, and butter.
And butter.
Obviously butter? That doesn't count.
Anyway,
if you've not put butter on your sandwich, you've done it wrong.
We've clearly run out of things to say about this genuinely good show.
Which I feel bad about, because it deserves praise, but like really it's simplistic in nature. So perhaps this is the way it should be. Just,
All right.
yeah, it's great. You should probably watch it.
Then let me offer something for this. I think that Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess represents a genuinely good idea for everyone, which is to engage in reflective creativity. Look at the things you made when you were young, see about them, what about them makes you sing, what about them makes you cringe, and also, in these moments, forgive yourself. You were a child. I have a Dungeons & Dragons setting that I am now blogging about monthly. Thousands of words spent on a place that doesn't exist, that is of interest largely to me and like 5 of my friends. And that place that I love was for 10 years oriented around a single central monarchy called Kingdom. It's okay to look back at what you did and go, oh, that wasn't a good decision.
It was ironically generic.
And make better decisions.
It's the only thing that is truly cringeworthy, and I think we see this bear out in most of the big fandom stories of our time. The only thing that's truly cringeworthy is not taking another pass at your shit. Is just going, no, this is fine. All my readers on AO3 say it's great. I don't think it needs an editor.
Tim Buckley of Control-Alt-Delete rebooted the comic and is making comics that my friends who still look at it say are actually just good.
Holy fucking shit.
Right? Everyone can grow, and the time you can do it is now, and the person you can forgive is you from yesterday. Anyway, with all of that said about reflecting back on our childhoods as 40-year-olds, let's look at something that has nothing to say about that at all, as we talk about Science Saru once again doing a show about adolescent sexuality. This is Sanda!
Sanda.
By Paru Itagaki, produced again by Science Saru. Paru Itagaki is also the artist behind Beastars. And she's the daughter of Keisuke Itagaki, who is the author and artist of Baki the Grappler, one of the most successful manga of all time, and one of the ugliest.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, no disrespect to you Baki the Grappler fans, but if you bring the frames of your thing towards me, I will respond with fire.
I mean, that does explain a lot about how the art in this works. And this is, I mean, that's why I picked it up. I was like, I don't care if you're interested or not. I want to see this.
So you have 2 tracks here to talk about. One of which is a really interesting story about adolescent sexuality, and the other one of which is an absolute freak who wants to fuck Santa writing a manga.
Hey, both of those things can exist at the same time.
Because a normal guy can never beat a true freak.
Never beat a true freak!
On the note of the true freak, by the way, just an extra additional dash of note about that, is that Sanda continues the theme of the season, which is blood is compulsory.
Yeah, right from episode 1.
Did you want to summarize this, or do you want me to?
I think I can pitch this real quick.
Go for it.
This is a weird... Well, it's unclear if it's future or not at first, but this is a weird alternate slightly in the future, where Santa is some kind of fabled super being, and we learn this because this little wide-eyed blonde-haired kid right here is gonna turn into him after being stabbed by his classmate, so he can turn into Santa.
Yeah.
So he can find her lost girlfriend. I mean, friend.
Girlfriend.
Definitely girlfriend.
Actual girlfriend.
Actual fucking girlfriend. And if you think that sounds ridiculous, absolutely it does. I did not go into this thinking it was going to have a brain in its head. I just went into this looking for a spectacle.
Because it's Science Saru.
Because it's Science Saru, and like from the promo material, it was abundantly clear that this was going to look amazing. And also, like, weird. Fearlessly weird.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of Science Saru's fucking thing, isn't it? I feel like Dandadan was too normie for them. They're like, I want to draw some real freak shit now.
Yep.
And that is what we got here. We got freak shit. We got cutesy poo little cherub main character. And
Named Sanda, by the way.
Named Sanda. What's his first name again?
His first name is Sanda, isn't it? No! I forgot. I didn't put it in the notes!
Ah,
oh no! I'm destroyed!
Your note-taking has failed you. Well, I know the name of his classmate, who is Shiori Fuyumura.
I know the name of his classmate, who is Hitoshi Amaya.
Okay, sure, whatever.
I also know the classmate, the girlfriend is named Ichi Ono. And I know that his...
Ichie.
Yes, fair. I also know that his shitty girlfriend, who is one of the best characters...
You fell in love with her immediately.
Is Nico Kazawa.
You were like, if you'd been around when I was 12, I would have been feral for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is how I feel about Fuyumura.
Yeah. One of the scrungliest, scraggliest girls.
Oh, scrangly! I adore her.
We've joked about this, and this may come up later. So actually, it will come up later. So I'm not going to say it here. In this series, you are dealing. One of the things about anime, largely speaking, tells a pretty coherent, constant lie that these are 14-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that they all have jobs is irrelevant. Like, that's a normal thing for a 14-year-old. They can hold down a day job and go to school and also save the world. That is absolute piffle. We know it's silly. And that means that when they talk about anime characters and age, it is consistently a ridiculous idea to really worry about the age of the characters as if a fictional character matters at all in this context. Now, there's a whole bunch of discourse about how you talk about teenagers and how you talk about teenage characters and all that, and it is boring as hell and usually never engaged with in good faith. But one of the things about Sanda is that it is very interested in the question of what it is like to be mindful of a child. And it does an amazing bunch of stuff with it, while also being a deeply messed up story about adolescent sexuality, which is also itself a really screwed up thing.
It is fascinating, and there is a sincerity to the emotional turmoil of it that is particularly meaningful in the bizarre nonsense reality that it exists in. Like, this world is fucked up.
Yep.
And people do... there's a lot of... I mean, everything is just a hyper... accelerated version of stupid shit that we believe and do today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kids can basically get away with anything because the birth rate went down so much and they're valuable, and and at 15 is the peak of your attractiveness. It's all downhill from there once you become an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Adults are disgusting, really, and their lives are misery.
Yep. So,
like, all of this is amplified to comical degrees, but also treated with just the utmost seriousness. And so all of these characters are just wholly fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, absolutely destroyed.
it is an anime in a lot of ways about the largest unprotected, marginalized group, which is children. These are people who do not have rights, who do not have any control or agency in their own identities, and not because of their ability or capacity to engage with it, but because of they're seen as an asset. They are perceived for a value as property. And this series just basically goes, in the same way that Ranma 1/2 is a series where a woman goes, wow, the way we treat women is pretty fucked up. It'd suck to have to experience that, wouldn't it, boys? This really feels like an anime which is about someone imagining, what if we protected kids? What if we liked kids? What if we protected and liked even kids who are cruel?
Well, but also not like that.
Yeah.
Because, also, I mean, it is a fascist dictatorship, effectively.
No. Santa is the one person who likes and cares for kids.
Yeah.
Everything else...
There is a structure of protection around the child characters.
There is a structure of protection.
Protection in the sense of, censoring media and making sure they don't have to do anything stressful and,
like sleep.
Don't discover that each other has genitals.
Yeah.
It's really interesting in this show that we talk constantly about child and adult as a dichotomy.
Yeah.
And no one acknowledges the existence of teenagers at all.
Yeah, it's a spectrum.
It does not come up.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a spectrum, it's a hard fucking switch in this world.
Yes, and they make... And why is it a hard switch? Because they make it a hard switch.
Yeah,
with drugs.
Yeah.
It is this is a dumb series where you're going to watch Santa punch a gun to death. And it is absolutely great. It rules. It has so many dumb ideas that overlap of dumb as hell and sick as hell. I love. But also, this series doesn't just have a brain in its head. This series has a thesis. And the thesis it's driving at feels to me like something a lot of people aren't going to engage with, because to do so would be hurtful to them.
Yeah, it's really good.
It does have a tragic end of the first
season.
season
Of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we just fully spoke over each other. Good work,
Yeah, my bad. Go for you.
Oh, I was just really looking forward to a second season.
Yeah, and in true Does the Dog Die fashion, the ending of the first season is a downer. It's a heartful downer, but, you know...
I mean, we're in spoiler territory already. I guess mute us for 5 seconds if you don't want to hear the biggest spoiler we'll discuss here, which is that is the worst anime confession I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You can't do worse than I told her I loved her and then she fucking died.
Yeah. Elfin Lead comes close.
Oh boy.
Yeah, beautiful series. Looks incredible. Villain design is impeccable. Combat scenes look great. Every character is the best girl. It genuinely fantastic stuff. I'm not surprised that Sai and Saru are this good, and I'm not surprised that Itagaki can make something this good, but I would not have expected this to be something that stands so high this season.
I'm surprised that this was it.
Yeah.
Because fucking delight.
High concept, dumbass.
A new fusion genre. The king of anime.
Wandance!
Oh, Wandance is... Yeah, do you want to intro this one? I've done a few.
Sure, it's written by Coffee. It's published in Seinen Magazine Monthly Afternoon by Kodansha. And it tells a very straightforward high school sports story about Katani, who is a young man with a stutter. As he comes to a new school, he gets a new class, he meets a friend called Wanda, and they get interested in the dance club. They go and join the dance club and learn about dance. They meet their senpai On, and they meet another senpai named Yori. And like everything that you've ever heard about any club, sport, anime, more or less happens in Wandance.
Yeah, this is another classic, what if the cutest girl in the world was into your special interest and, like, forced you to actually own up and start doing your special interest.
Yeah.
And, you just had a great time doing your special interest together.
Yeah. With a special note that the special interest in question it's not like, yes, I happen to have found the only girl who's into erotic cosplaying of this one character I have a crush on. But
other shows.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a jab at My Dress Up Darling. That was a jab at a much worse knockoff.
No.
But no, specifically, it's a thing that obviously a pretty girl who can dance is going to be into. The fact that she's able to hook him in and he can't dance at the start, but he's interested.
Yeah, because he's kind of a natural. I don't think it's even that he can't dance, but he was emotionally scarred by one bad experience and decided that he shouldn't dance. Because he's clearly a big loser.
Can't relate. Anyway,
Oh yeah, it's nothing like you or me at all.
Yeah. The thing with Wandance, as an overall text is, it's just a really competent version of what it is. The characters, no one here is a miracle. No, he's not the greatest dancer of all time. He's a natural dancer, but he's not, like, winning everything the second he tries. He's just a bit better than he thinks, and it's worth him going in and giving it a shot. Wanda is really, really good, but she's not better than the people who've been dancing for years ahead of her. And... okay, so...
Earn is perfect.
Earn is perfect. But the big Band-Aid tear-off here. Wandance, story-wise, fantastic. Character-wise, love them.
2D animation?
2D animation.
Exquisite.
Yep.
Really good.
But animation-wise, the production of Wandance does not have the boots for this hike. Because I'm assuming it's to save money on complicated dance sequences, and because they're licensing a shitload of music, I suspect.
There's a lot of real music in here.
And they put a credit on screen, which was great.
Yeah.
Wandance uses a lot of 3D animation, and it's not great.
It's not even good, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the worst I've seen.
Yeah.
But it is a straightforward case of trying to make a 3D model look like a 2D model. And it's just bad.
Yeah.
It's especially problematic that they have two long-haired girls doing a lot of the dancing.
Yeah.
And they just get octopus hair as soon as they snap into their 3D model forms.
Yeah, it's rough because
It's
like
really rough.
I got so interested in this that I went and investigated and I read the manga. Well, I read a chunk of the manga. I didn't read the whole thing. I just kind of grabbed around the middle because I didn't want to read the introduction. I was like, oh, what does this look like? How does this back up what we're doing? And the thing is, after reading, I think 2 volumes of Wandance, it's unanimatable. It simply could not be done at any budget to look as good as the manga does at representing the flow of dance. I showed you one panel, and I know you weren't that impressed with it. But it's constant. It's used across multiple pages. There are points where you will turn a page, and the next step of the dance is bouncing back across the page. There is so much stuff done with making dance look good in a comic form that you couldn't do it in an anime.
I don't agree that it's unanimatable.
Okay, that's fair.
In a way that would be satisfying. It would take a lot of skill and a lot of money.
Yeah, more money than anyone's
It
got.
clearly didn't have a lot of money. I mean, we saw the 3D before we went into this, and I almost didn't pick it up for that reason, but I was just too charmed by the 2D animation.
Yeah.
And I went in sort of wondering, like, why did they think that was a good idea? And having watched it, I don't think they did.
No.
Because
they edit around it.
They edit around it a lot. Like, there's a lot of points where it's like, well, there would be a dance sequence here, but they've just chosen to omit that.
Yeah, we're showing you a still. We're showing you a still and panning up it, and showing the judges talking about it, not showing the actual animation.
And having seen the dances that they did animate, I think that's the right choice. Like, it's a shame to cut it, but it would be worse if you put it in there, because it would also be taking up runtime in a show that is cramming to shit already. Like, they are getting a lot done in one core. There are like 3 arcs.
Yeah. Really, really lovely show. I like it a lot. It is getting a live-action TV series adaptation, which genuinely I think is probably a really good way to show it.
You know what? That might not be a bad idea. You know, just hire really good dancers, obviously.
Yeah.
But, like, this is one case where that would actually be easier to do with humans than with animation.
Yeah. Ironically, because gravity is free to render on camera.
This won me over almost immediately with Cubbo's stutter, incidentally.
Yeah.
I like, the first time we hear him talk, I just thought we were dealing with another, I am the assigned nervous character, so I am gonna do anime, stuttering, flubbing, you know, cartoonish, you know, just overperformed kind of, but the way it sounds in anime. The Silent Witch.
Yeah.
You know, perfect example. And then, like, the second time he spoke, I'm like, hang on, that's not what... Holy shit, I think he actually just has, like, a stutter like a real person has a fucking stutter.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be acknowledged as, like, a condition. And it is, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, he carries a disability card eventually.
You see this stuff brought up so rarely. It was really cool that it was a real thing that is acknowledged, and, like, he develops somewhat in that he finds some ways to work around it, and he finds some people that it affects him less with, because it is connected to anxiety, but it's not just anxiety, it's also just a part of how his brain works, because he's also a very normal brain.
Yeah.
I enjoy him. And it's not, you know, you can't fix it by, you know, learning to talk to girls. Or that's not how it works. Very cool. So refreshing.
Yeah.
And
And
let's see.
everyone involved with this, as far as I can tell, fucking loves dance and music. There's not a lot of room to... There's no energy here of someone who didn't care.
It is funny the number of times that observers are like, oh my god, they're listening to the music and just moving in whatever way feels good to it. And I'm sitting here on the couch going, okay, I don't like dancing, but I at least understand that is normally what dancing is.
Well, Your Honor, I will suggest, because to me the impression that gave me was like, oh wow, is that what dance is like in Japan? Like,
it could be one of those cultural gap things, like when we watched Flower and Asura, and I was like, why is there a correct way to read a poem? I reject that concept. Yeah. You cannot act wrong or right.
Uh-huh. Anyway, you're good being delighted?
Yes, I guess I will sum up by saying, like, I hate 3D animation as a general rule. I hate 3D animation mimicking 2D animation substantially more. I still couldn't dislike this show. Mm-hmm. In fact, I like it. If anything, I just felt kind of sorry for it. It deserved to be funded for those sequences in a way that really would have paid them off. But in the meantime, this is okay. This is fine. This is good enough.
Also, for a show that thrives on girl hot, because let's not kid ourselves, Wanda and Owen are definitely part of the arc.
Oh, yeah.
Boys hot.
Yeah, I this is another show where I feel like everyone's roughly on the same level.
Uh-huh.
Part of that is because the girls aren't really my type, in the same way that the, like, stupid muscle girls from Kamen Rider are my type, and therefore they're more appealing than they otherwise would be. But, I don't feel like anyone in this is punching above their weight, as it were.
Yeah. Wanda does look like Tweety Bird, but...
She has a bit of that about to sneeze anime girl.
Yeah.
There's a particular eye style that they draw, and I wish I had a grasp on exactly what it is about some girls that makes them look like that. But
alright then. Shabake.
Aww.
Written by Megami Hatanaka, published first in 2001 by Shinchosha. The main character's name is Ichitaro. The secondary characters are Nikichi and Sasuke and Byobu Nozuki. And that's the extent of my notes. Lined up the fox.
You definitely should have just read out your notes like a list there.
Yep.
This broke my heart. It's very funny to me that the poster is only in Japanese there and also in the list of names you sent me so I could read out the Japanese. This one is not in Romaji.
No.
You just put the Japanese characters.
It doesn't have an English title.
Does it? Yeah, but the fact that you put both in is still very funny. Because that's kind of the vibe that this is on. This is unapologetically, authentically of its time and place.
Which is to say the year 2000.
Oh, I mean, which is to say that everyone's hairstyles are very stupid and all the fucking same.
Yeah, I believe they call it chonmage.
Yeah, you looked this up at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, because we had an argument about whether or not they were shaved and shaved up to the point in the middle and then fold down the back, or if they were instead shaved entirely on top and then folded over like a plait.
No, I will say, you're misremembering that. There was no argument.
Oh, okay.
There was just me going, oh, I thought it was this way, but yeah, you're probably right, because look at the way it's, like, weirdly cut off at the front there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's worse than I thought.
Yep. Anyway,
This is a ghost story mystery show about a sickly son of a merchant family who can see the spirits. Oh my god, I love Japanese demons. I love Ayakashi and yokai and stuff. They're so cool. This is gonna be great. And he's got 2 loyal retainers who are spirits. And they've been with him his whole life. Oh, the boys are gonna kiss. Not really, but in my mind they're gonna kiss. Maybe the hair won't bother me that much.
The retainers are devoting.
I was really excited for this. And you can tell that because I watched it regardless of the hair. But this kind of let me down in every way. It's a real bummer. It's what it wants to be. It has an undeniable feeling of prestige about it.
Yeah.
But it's about yokai shit in the same way that, like, Game of Thrones is about fantasy shit, which is like, all this stuff is objectively real in this world. But you better never fucking do any of it. It's like Game of Thrones if the dragons never even got to come out, really.
Yeah.
The little imp guys, he's got one on his shoulder right there.
They're great.
They're very cute. They look like cute little demon spirits all the time. But those 2 loyal retainers, who are, one of them's an Inugami.
Yep.
And the other one's a Hakutake, I think?
The type of ox with eyes on its side, yeah.
An ox?
Yeah.
It's like a fucking deer lion weirdo thing.
Maybe.
Anyway, It's pretty sick, or at least based on the silhouette that you see of it for like 5 seconds in one episode, it seems like it would be pretty sick, because they're never gonna be in their demon forms or do like any cool demon stuff.
Yep.
They're just, that one guy's kind of strong and that one guy's kind of smart, but neither of them is smart enough or strong enough to not just get like KO'd by one punch from a human bad guy.
Hit with a bit of wood.
And also, they're not really loyal retainers because they don't work for him. They work for his grandma, technically, and they wind up doing some hinky shit to, like, keep him safe for his own good that, like, actively hurts him. And at one point, they threaten the one of them that he's actually, like, friends with and nice, who is Byobu Nozuki.
Yeah.
Who's one of those demons who's, like, a possessed item. So he comes out of a folding screen and has, like, a real hot kind of gay guy vibe. I have no idea how queer he's meant to be, but if anything in this series is queer, he is.
Yep.
He's also the only one with good hair. Probably because of that queer. No, it's not. It's because he doesn't have any money.
Yep. And our devoted retainers do a hate crime on him.
Yeah, they come real close to killing him, apparently. All because they're like, we're not, like, totally sure if you have this guy's best interests at heart, despite the fact that you've been here longer than we have, and you could easily have killed him anytime you fucking wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
It's really annoying, and it damaged it fundamentally damaged the loyal retainer relationship to the point where I could not enjoy it anymore. The mystery, we have one mystery for the whole arc, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because we have a lot of, like, political family story stuff going on, where his dad has another kid, and he's apprenticed to another family, but they're not really allowed to acknowledge him or anything. Oh, you know, the usual kind of family drama shit that would provide a good background for a period story like this. And in between that, we have a mystery, which I was betting on not having any yokai shit going on, because that would have been too fun. But it turns out it did, which was cool.
Yeah.
It's one of those beloved items that eventually becomes inhabited by a spirit, which is a really cool thing. I love that story. But this one, like, got damaged in a tragic accident before it could, so now it's like, it can't actually complete becoming one of these spirits. Tsukumagami?
Yeah.
So it's getting people killed in its effort to find, like, a mystical drug that will save it, and it turns out being inextricably tied to our main character, because it actually got used to save him, because he was fucking dead! But his mom brought him back by praying and using a little bit of magic. Anyway, and that's all kind of cool. But also, it turns out the way to beat it is just to, like, you know, go and throw magic talismans at it and give it a bit of a lecture and just kill it rather than trying to sort out its issues. Or I wanted this to be a lot more Natsume's Book of Friends, you know?
Yeah, it's much more Natsume's Book of Enemy.
Yeah, it's one enemy, yeah. We do get to see a couple of spirits do cool spirit things in, like, one episode.
The girl with the fangs is super cute.
She's cute. I love her design. She actually looks kind of a little bit like a monster.
Yeah, and also could pass as a scrungly person.
And there's, like, an old lady with a giant snake wrapped around her neck who we see in a couple of background scenes, and I think she gets a line about how nothing's going on.
But we do get a lengthy diatribe from the type of yokai whose whole gimmick is, I say long and annoying diatribes.
We do get a backstory dump for him at the point where we have to reveal it. And, you know, there's a lot of you know, balancing my my curiosity and my desire to do something with my life versus the fact that I am of a fragile constitution and should be taking better care of myself, and that should all be really interesting. But the problem is they don't really sell many of these characters as being super likable, especially when they do quite possibly do a hate crime.
Yeah, I'm trying not to interject too much on this one, because I did genuinely try and follow this. I was taking notes by the end.
I mean, you really struggled with this, because you have a certain amount of face blindness to start with.
Yeah.
And when everyone has the same fucking hair, and is, like, very sort of grounded, down-to-earth, realistic depictions of real humans in a particular time and place.
Yeah, and it has the problem that I don't know if it failed to hold my attention because it's boring or because the characters are unlikable. Because I have a hard time attaching much meaning to any of the characters, aside from that time they held down the queer-looking guy and beat him in the face. And that happens in like episode 3. That's not...
It's pretty early on, yeah.
There are 9 more episodes after that point. I have every reason to get my head in the game and follow this stuff. I will also say, for anyone who is interested in this, content warning, there is quite an extensive discussion of violence against animals.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And there's some gory props that, like, you don't see a dismembered cat. But there's a lot of talking about a dismembered cat.
I forgot about the dismembered cat thing where it's like, oh, thank goodness it turns out that he wasn't the one who dismembered the cat. But we all thought it would have been fine if he had.
And,
like,
yeah.
Wild.
And the cat dismemberer doesn't suffer anything for it because it would be bad economically for him if they punished him. And I don't know, it just...
Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit capitalism going on here.
I don't know.
You know, that's the missing element that completes the soup of this is not good enough in any of the possible ways it could be good enough.
Yeah.
It's also just very concerned with the right to success of families that already have a bunch of money.
Yeah, I guess that is me coming down on it now, where, like, fundamentally, I think that this doesn't have anything interesting to say about any of the things it wants to be about.
No, like what was the underlying theme of this? What was what was this trying to share with us beyond just the events of the story? I really do not know what this was trying for.
That you should try and improve things, but not much. And poor people shouldn't be trusted.
There was a lot of poor people shouldn't be trusted. Yeah, it's... also, the family business of his is a pharmacy, is an apothecary. So,
oh boy,
this is in competition with Shushimin as a detective story, with Natsume's Book of Friends as a yokai story, and with Apothecary Diaries as an apothecary mystery story.
As a period piece.
As a period piece, yeah. And it's just, I mean... You ain't gonna do well against any one of those 3. Natsume's Book of Friends might be the weakest, because it's kind of formulaic and it's not made on a big budget.
No.
Look, of those 3 things, I think it is the weakest.
Of those 3 things, but against Shabake?
No. Yeah, no, not saying against Shabake. There's 7 seasons of Natsume's Book of Friends.
Because Natsume's Book of Friends is all about, I need to get you to give a shit about this character in 6 minutes.
Yeah, and they'll fucking do it too.
Yeah. No, I will say, this series has done a great honor and service this year to Amiku MD.
It might be better than Amiku, depending on your particular preferences for whether or not it's obnoxious to have a main character who is a child or just looks and acts like a child.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to sit here harping on this because, like, this should be a good show.
He's also not intriguingly neurospicy, which is a huge mistake. He could have been.
Yeah.
Well, at least Amiku had that going for her.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not rushing through this one because I don't care that much.
I've talked a lot about it. I don't think I can add anything more useful, and I think you've been very tolerant of me yapping about something you thought was,
You will tolerate me yapping.
Absolutely. No, I'm saying we can move on.
May I ask for one final thing?
In contrast to Shabake, this is probably the thing that not only disappointed me the least, but impressed me by the widest margin over the hopes I had for it.
Saigo ni hitotsu dake onegai shite mo yoroshii desho ka?
Fuck. I kept forgetting that was my job.
It started as a series of light novels by Nana Otori, published starting in 2018, was made into an anime by Leiden Films. This show rules.
Kinda whips. This is also a twist on the Villainess genre. On the Villainess isekai genre, even. Oh, is it me doing it?
I'll let you.
Okay. Well, this is the story of Scarlet, whose second name I forget.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Who is one of your best girl to end best girls characters. Who is an emotionally constipated, very well-behaved young lady who has to stay in her lane and not upset her fiancé, who is the youngest prince of the kingdom, even as he actively torments her, until he decides to break off their engagement, at which point she is unleashed and is able to fucking destroy the faces of anybody who has earned having their face destroyed, which is mostly rich people, slave owners, the clergy, and rich slave-owning clergy.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a prince here too. He's kind of a fuck, but he enables her, so I guess we'll tolerate him.
Yeah. So before I go any further, I will say, just a corollary, there are a couple of characters who are quite fat who get beaten up. And she has a habit of referring to people as meat and pigs. I'm not going to pretend that there's no fat phobia involved in this. Go on.
I will say, it isn't... We do not get more fat characters than the average fantasy show about corrupt people. And she uses pigs indiscriminately for people who deserve to have their faces punched out.
Absolutely.
It's not as if she sees a fat person and calls them a pig.
Yes, that's the thing I'm trying to lay out. Like, I'm not saying that there's no fat phobia in this, but also, it's... Yeah, if you're watching fantasy anime...
I don't find it remarkable compared to literally any other fantasy anime I've seen.
I find it better than almost every fantasy anime I've watched recently.
Well, yes.
That's part of the problem. But to then go... But I don't want to go like, you see, she only beats up 2 fat orcs.
Fair.
Like, she's still... There's still sequences of her beating up a body and it jiggles. Like, you gotta remember, My Hero Academia has a character who becomes superpowered by stopping being fat. And Sakamoto Days is a character who is superpowered by stopping being fat.
And Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider has people getting jiggled every time they get beat up.
Yes, that's...
But not like that.
Yeah. No. This series has... Every episode is framed as a question of, may I beat up this person? And the first episode is, may I send this bitch flying?
Yeah, this is... You remember how I was mad at Star Brighter Than the Sun for the character just hating the one remarkable thing about herself?
Yeah.
This show is refreshingly not going to pretend that Scarlet is not fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. Everybody says it. Everybody who doesn't want to get under her is fooling themselves.
Yeah.
And the only person who consistently is disappointed or stressed out by her actions is her brother, who's a fucking bozo for continuing to worry about, but what if she can't get married? Instead of, the fucking prince is right here going, oh no, I'm fully into this.
Yeah,
leave it alone, you idiot.
Him named Sigurd, by the way.
Her brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the prince is...
Julius.
I remembered.
Yeah. This show also... So like, fundamentally, this is a show about an overpowered protagonist kicking the shit out of every problem she encounters, and in the best and funniest way.
Yeah, it's absolute trash wish fulfillment, but it's good.
But also, it does it in ways that are both surprising and clever. One example is that she encounters someone who proudly explains that because he is blessed by the god of iron, he has unbreakable bones and skin. She can't kill him. At which point, she grabs him by his head and knees him in the face until he gets a concussion and passes out, because
the brain's not iron.
The brain's not iron. And the fact that I'm sitting there going, what's she doing? Oh my god, she's giving him a concussion. And then she says that concussion should do and drops him. It's so much smarter than it needs to be. And then, on top of that, second episode, we introduce the slave character. The sexy slave character. Mm-hmm. And the second episode is ending slavery in the kingdom and killing everyone who doesn't help her.
I mean, definitely not actually killing, but close enough. I don't think this show actually has... I don't think people die in this reality.
No.
Because, I mean, you can't get punched into the fucking sun without dying normally, so...
The only person we see come back from that is the guy who's indestructible. Like, when she punches someone off screen, they are gone.
It also happens to the actual villainess.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Who we'll
Blessed
talk
by a
about
god.
momentarily. And the prince.
Yeah. Bye.
Best ending screen this season.
Yep. This series is just pleasantly good. Before we move on to talking about Terranetsa, just a thing, the music, the opening and ending are both, in my opinion, really good songs, just on their own.
They are pretty fucking strong.
Mm-hmm.
Going for a definite mood and achieving it.
Uh-huh. Now, Terranetsa.
Right, because I did describe this as a villainess isekai twist.
It is!
It is, but Scarlet is not the isekai.
Yep. She is the villainess of Terranetsa's story.
Kind of. I mean, no one's falling for that except Terranetsa herself.
Yeah. Well, Terranetsa is an overpowered isekai protagonist with the power to make everyone love her. It's just they made it text instead of subtext.
Yeah, it's literal mind control.
Yeah.
So yeah, she is a parody of an isekai heroine, who literally mind controls people.
Mm-hmm.
And shows up in the first episode to upstage the villainess by breaking off her engagement to the prince, who is instead in love with me now.
Yeah,
this is the fate of all villainesses.
And that should start the villainess's arc of like, oh, now I have to destroy you. Except what she's expecting is she's going to go away and make a manipulative plan.
Yeah.
She's not expecting she's going to punch me in the face.
Not expecting to get slugged.
and you might be thinking, oh, okay, I see the kind of anime it is. It's a pretty girl. They're not going to draw a pretty girl actually getting punched in the face. Nope. Nope, they draw it. You get a full-on fist-in-face, momentary slowdown, then speed-up reel of Terranetsa going flying in the first episode.
And Scarlet was clearly going easy on her because she doesn't go through the ceiling.
Yeah, she lived.
Yes, very good show. I do have a couple of notes.
Yes.
You know what? I will give her a pass on the clothing overall. She has a lot of outfits, and some of them are froofy ball gowns.
Yeah.
Which is not inappropriate. And since she is overwhelmingly a fist fighter, it pretty much works. There's no point where the animation doesn't sell that she could fight in it.
Yeah.
But also, for other jobs, she wears riding gear, she wears town clothes. She has a lot of costumes.
Yeah,
and she
they look
inhabits
good.
them like a person who might have to wear clothes sometimes.
Yeah. The Attack on Titan ass pants at the end were actually really good.
There's a scene early on where she's just wearing fucking Fabian Seacaster, or that vampire guy from Baldur's Gate 3, where she's just got the tight trousers and the loose billowy shirt.
Yeah, she looks great.
And she looks fucking incredible. Also when she lets her hair down. Very sick. I'm disappointed she didn't keep the black twist in the hair.
Yeah.
That she acquires by overusing her powers sort of halfway through, but then she gets like god refreshed at one point. And
Yeah.
right, it's an isekai parody, so people have blessings of various gods, and they work in certain ways.
Yeah.
And they have stupid names, but it's all done pretty well, and it's quite fun.
Until
It does lead to one of the, like, really the only genuinely bad thing about the show, I think.
Yeah.
Which is that Julius kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And he's kind of sucked all the way along. He's one of those just insufferably smug love interests who's like, well, I mean, he meets a certain standard of attractiveness, and I know we're supposed to find it charming that he, like, gets up in her personal space and teases her and stuff, but I just think he's a cock.
I have a harmonization for that if you'll hear it.
What have you got?
Okay. This is not text, and this is not well supported by the text because there would be other signs. But there are two instances where we get to see Julius engaging with someone where he doesn't know them. And they're both villains, so like he could just be doing banter, right? Mm-hmm. But he has the same demeanor when he's dealing with Scarlet. And he describes them as being exhausting. I think for this theory, Julius is extremely autistic And his masking is just, well, this is what the storybook heroes do. And that's why he's so unaware of him being rude to her. But that is a reach.
It would be really fun if they had done that.
Yeah.
Because we have no inner life for him.
No.
Really. We only have surface level shit, and he never stops being that guy.
We got more in a life for Diana's brother.
Correct. And I'm really mad that he lies to her about not being romantically interested in her.
Yeah.
Like, he swears that his interest in her is not romantic, and he's, like, taking field notes on her like she's in a fucking monster manual, and that's great.
Yeah.
And if that was the relationship they were going for, I would have been really happy. But it was very clear from the start that they were, in fact, going for a romantic relationship. And then he gets just a fucking liar.
And then he gets a superpower that fixes it.
And then he gets a superpower that fixes it, but only if she kisses him and begs him to save her like a fucking prissy little heroine. It is a terrible moment that undermines the rest of the tone of the series.
Yeah.
And is very contrived in the way that it's done as well. Like, why did that work? Why should that work? Why wasn't he trapped the same way that she was trapped in that scenario? It makes no sense.
And you can do that. I will actually argue in favor of that scene. But you have to do it and then have that get into Scarlet or into a position where she doesn't need that again. Like, you can use the whole, well, look, I, the author, will make it very clear that actually he does have feelings for her. And again, that further builds the he's extremely autistic element of, like, he can't change the pattern because the pattern is I'm supposed to say I don't love you, even as the magical signs around me are going, actually, he's in love with you. But to then have it be, and that solves the villain, is less good than being like, this gets us to the next stage of things where Scarlet can solve things on her own without it undermining her identity.
You could have fixed it very easily by just having it be contingent on him admitting that he loved her.
Yeah.
That's all you needed. You did not need to do this weird humbling thing with her.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary. We already knew she liked him. She already made the gestures towards him in that scene where she's like, isn't that the kind of shit you say when someone's about to die?
Yeah. They could have done it with different dialogue. To help trim 4 lines of dialogue and the whole thing is a shitload better. You just go silent for that whole sequence where she kisses him. Just show the feet and be like, okay, we don't need to know the tone of how that happened. It's a mystery. It's private. The god of time is not letting us see this. That would have been great.
Kind of cool.
But, yeah, ultimately it is... It's frustrating too because it's ending on a flat note.
Yeah, it's a real bummer that's how the climax works.
Yeah.
Especially with all the horrifying shit we have going on with the Mary Sue character of, like, just a whole bunch of fucked up imagery of shit that normally is reserved for cute main characters. And the obsessive fucking goddess who is lording this over her.
Terranessa is a bundle of extremely relatable kinks.
Yeah, and they almost managed to make you kind of like there's
a little
just
sympathy.
an ounce of feeling sorry for her in that final scene they have where we actually get to see her talking to this otherworldly entity that has plucked her from another world with the funniest non-truck isekai I've ever seen. That was hilarious.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it too, in that she is in a really Lovecraftian horror situation, which makes me like her even more.
Yeah.
Look, again, ending on a flat note, and it does set up, and this is the thing, the fact that his final line of dialogue is giving her kiss notes really builds into the autism thing. Like it makes that sequence like, you don't know when to stop, do you? But he doesn't have the inner life, so it just looks like he's a shit.
Yeah, it just looks like he's a smug shit.
Yeah. Anyway, Nanaka's hotter anyway, even if Nanaka is like, I'm not sure how old Nanaka's meant to be. The slave, the dog
boy. I assume he's look, between the fact that he's wearing the shorter shorts and the fact that his beast form is like a puppy.
Yeah.
Not a wolf. I think he is a child.
Yeah.
I did not think that at first, but upon reflection, like halfway through the show, I was like, oh, you probably are really young, aren't you? Okay.
And like,
I'll be less excited about your cross-dressing.
This show is still built around a whole bunch of stuff that I don't like. It's still like he's a prince. Fuck princes.
He is a prince. And
they've reclaimed the glory of the church. Fuck churches.
Fuck churches. I mean, we did totally destroy the other church, which is nice.
Yeah, they did dissolve a church. It's all in the name of protecting a border. Fuck borders!
Fuck borders. And we certainly, in support of that, get some, demi-humans are monsters, and just because you can talk to something doesn't mean that it deserves human dignity or anything.
Yeah.
But, I mean, with the usual excuse of, yeah, but they fucking came here to eat you, so...
Yeah, we aren't talking about the orcs being evil. We're talking about the orcs that came here to attack us are evil.
Yeah, but we're also talking about...
Yeah.
Monsters will get into the kingdom once our protective barrier comes down there.
Yeah.
Objectively not human things. But, it's whatever. That's not remarkable for a fantasy anime. If anything, they are behind Western fantasy as far as this kind of shit goes. You still just get a lot of unconditional monster characters.
Yep. And sometimes you get to sell their testicles.
Yeah, I mean, at least she joked about eating the orcs as she fought. But she wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike some other fucking shows we've watched where it's perfectly fine to eat something you had a conversation with.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
Oh, I really hope I know what's next in this list.
No.
Ah, damn.
Unfortunately.
Alright. Oh, it's Gnosia.
This is Gnosia.
Possibly Gnosia.
So credit to the creator of this is a little tricky. So let me just put a pin in that.
Because this is the video game, right?
Yeah. So I'll talk about the creator and writers and all that after we do the summary.
Okay. Well, the summary of this one is super quick. If you know what the game Werewolf is.
Yeah.
Or possibly Avalon. Or possibly...
Mafia.
Or... Look, this is a hidden identity game.
Yep.
Played weekly with a play group of some people who... not everyone's here on the same week, so you get different players.
Mm-hmm. It's basic werewolf, so you get the role.
Yes, we have a couple of roles.
Yep.
But...
You get basically just the werewolf. You get the you get the I can inspect one person each night role. You get the I can tell who died role, which I'm used to hearing being the gravedigger, but they call it the doctor in this one. There's the guards.
That makes more sense in the setting.
Yep. This calls guard duty, which I'm used to hearing is called the masons. Which is just two people who know each other is not the werewolf. The Masons are more fun, in my opinion, because if you ever ask someone, are you a Mason? You die that night.
It's definitely not Blood on the Clock Tower.
No.
Because the rules don't arbitrarily change all the fucking time, and there's only a few of them, so you can actually remember what's going on!
Yep. Yeah. So, this is a game focused around a protagonist named Yuri. They are in a time loop. They're in
right, yes, and it's a sci-fi. This is all happening on a spaceship, and it's for realsies, not for play. Except, is it though? It's kind of ambiguous.
It's a sci-fi time loop story where they're stuck in a game of werewolf, but the cast of characters changes on every loop. It's not the same. It's not as simple as I loop back to the start of the game with the knowledge from the end of the game so I can win it. It, in fact, changes every single time. And there are a series of twists throughout the story. Working out who is or is not the werewolf in each episode is actually doable, though not reliable. The strategy in the game they're a little basic if you've played the game in any convention setting.
It is definitely basic. Like, there's, for example... They say many times over, the only reason you would lie is if you're one of the monsters.
Yeah.
Which is simply not true in a hidden identity game.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have bonus rolls.
Yeah, lie all the time.
We allow it to be stated for the sake of making this approachable, I guess.
Yeah, so one thing you don't see until the very end is a triple claim, which... if you go in a large enough group of experienced werewolf players, you don't bother asking about certain roles because the second you do, you will get a triple claim because there are going to be people deliberately trying to throw sand in the air.
Right. Yeah.
It's a small group games. The group never goes above, I think, 10 people for any single one. It's also basically every episode is about learning about one character at a time. This is usually a pretty good formula because most of the characters are actually quite charming and nice.
We'll get to that. But,
most of them.
Because secretly this isn't about winning a game of werewolf. This is actually about getting 100% ending completion in a visual novel.
Yes, which is, yeah.
Which is why our protagonist is time looping, because actually something is like making them play this game. And also, this person in the poster, who's not our main character, this is Setsu, who's the more experienced ally of the main character, who is
Ally?
also time
Asterisk?
looping. I mean, they are definitely in like a mentorship role to Yuri.
Yes.
And this is who gives them the ability to time loop in the first place. Because they're also doing it. But they're not time looping together. They're time looping at different rates and to different timelines. So there's a whole lot of shit going on, but they're both trying to fill up knowledge receptacles with ending points. So they have to do this as many times as it takes to learn enough about the cast. To be freed from the eternal looping.
Except, in addition to that, there's something else happening as well that's making it all worse.
There's also some other weird shit going on. There's some kind of space monsters and maybe a sex cult. It's unclear.
Yeah.
And also maybe someone's digitized consciousness that makes people into murderous beings entirely separately from the monsters of the game, which are the Gnosia. And also, why is the goal to fill up the knowledge orb not related to the monsters being called Gnosia, which, like, you know, those are inherently related concepts. If you were going to call something that, it'd be the thing that wants you to fill up the knowledge bucket.
Yep. All of that said, it is core one of a double core series, so we don't actually know where it's going with it necessarily.
I mean, the fact that I still don't fucking know at this point is very interesting to me.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of that is because, like, there's no such thing as filler in this concept. Like, a bunch of episodes are getting to what are clearly, like, bad or joke endings from the game. Like, I'm sure the fucking space sauna with the horrible misogynist captain has gotta be a joke ending. It just reeks of that.
As is the getting someone to confess their Gnosia by frustrating them at a video game.
Yeah, that kind of works. So, yeah, like, there's, you know, the time looping concept just gives them the freedom to try out this shit, and it does wind up showing you a lot of interesting sides of characters that you can't have all at once. And while it's kind of cheap because it's a way of, you know, noping out of any permanent character development, and it also just means that characters go from being, you know, kind of likable and relatable to just back to being assholes in another timeline a lot of the time. Which is not great, but it is interesting. And that's kind of what the show is going for. It is consistently interesting. I also think it's really fucking well-paced, which is a special thing to be able to say about a time travel show, I think. They don't normally have that going for them. But, like, the rate at which they choose to introduce the additional roles and the new elements, and to introduce new cast members as well, because we start out with, like, 5 characters, I think. And you know, we have a bit of a steady gain, and then we just, like, eject a bunch of them, and we have a bunch of different people.
We start with 5 characters and 2 genders, but not the ones you think.
Hang on a minute. Who's on but there's no guys the first time around.
First loop has no men. That's one of the other things about Gnosia.
Yeah, this show understands that non-binary people exist.
Genders are happening in Gnosia. Characters in Gnosia are across a host of different expressions and interpretations of bodies and relationships to pronouns. Even Comet, who, like, Comet appears to express as being femme, but Comet also uses Boku, which is, even that's just light gender play.
Yeah, it's not wildly unusual for anime girls, but it is not nothing.
Yeah, and in the context of, like, this is a series where there are characters who explicitly say, I don't have a gender. And then there are characters who say, I have a different relationship to my gender. And then there is the character who is a dolphin.
Well, she's still a she.
Oh, yeah.
Otome is very clear.
Otome is a princess, so it's fine. But the point is that,
there's a clue in the name.
Bodies and identities and gender are all happening all over the place here. I'm actually avoiding spoilering too much about this show. I think because I kind of think...
Look, I'm going to fucking talk about it. Bail on this up. Fast forward until this isn't on the screen anymore if you don't want to hear about more of the genders.
That's the big reason why I use the big still images, by the way.
Because
And the
I do
timestamps.
want to complain about the one episode where Yuri is suddenly an girl.
Yep.
Because, like, Yuri has been agender, and the show kind of conflates agender and non-sexed
Yeah.
as well at certain points. Like, there's a point where Setsu there says they're asexual, and I got kind of excited about that because no anime understands that asexual people exist. But it seems that their meaning was closer to, I have removed gender characteristics from myself.
Yeah.
Which seems to be inseparable. Like, having a body without gender characteristics seems to be the same thing as not having a gender identity. In these people's concept.
Yeah.
Apparently. Like, that's an observation. No one strictly states that this is the case or anything, but that's what it seems to be like. But there's a very weird episode where Yuri wakes up in a body that have the tits.
Yep.
And
does start using Arthashii at that point.
And, everything about how they speak and act changes. I don't know if they have a different voice actor, but they're definitely doing a different voice. And they're also, like, suddenly they have visible lips and stuff, and more eyelashes. Like, the kind of shit that normally happens in Western cartoons that gets on my tits, frankly. But also, like, they have this weird sudden engagement with it of, like, they performing womanness in kind of a gross way, frankly.
Yeah.
Like, using sex appeal on the misogynist characters in the cast.
Characters plural.
The characters, but yeah, because, like, when you said they were all likable, you said they were broadly likable, I was like, because there's one guy who's fully shit, and there's another guy who's only acting fully shit because he wants to protect himself, but therefore is indistinguishable from being fully shit the rest of the time.
It's true. It's true.
I don't like Ming very much.
Yep.
But that episode did not sit well with me as a woman, because it was very unpleasant to see that kind of very affected gender performance of, I bet this is what girls are probably like. And like, you know, to other people, I guess that might be freeing, in the same way that, that Sailor Moon always rubbed me the wrong way, because it wasn't, you know, you can be a superhero and still wear pretty girl shit, whereas to me it was, you can be a superhero, but you still have to wear girl shit.
Yeah.
And those are two very, very different feelings to deal with.
I think... oh, sorry. Go on.
But yeah, I didn't like that it wasn't dealt with as anything other than just an avenue to mail information.
Mm-hmm.
When it could have been something a lot more interesting, especially the way they engaged with it so artificially.
Yeah. Fundamentally, I think that Gnosia is an example of an anime where it kind of doesn't matter if it sticks the landing. Like, if this is where Gnosia stops for me, it's an interesting story with a mystery conclusion of like, well, we don't know where it goes. And I'm actually okay with that. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to watch the second half. I think that the second core should be good, because the first core seemed good. But also,
It's
if it comes out at the
surprisingly
end
good.
that it's like, you see, this is all a simulation in a box. I'm like, alright, fine.
I do have the vibe that it's probably all fake myself. Like, because the rules of the game are so blatantly acknowledged as being rules of the game, and some of them do not make diegetic sense. Like, some of them do. The basic idea of you have to put someone into cold sleep, but you won't know for sure until you've got rid of everyone, because we can't check individual people unless there's a doctor on board. But the fact that, like, doctor credentials are handed out randomly to characters who aren't doctors, and the fact that the villains can only kill one person every warp, and apparently they would never think of killing a second person just because they can.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there are elements of it that, to me, say this wouldn't make sense if it weren't a game. But shows has surprised me a number of times so far.
It's weird that none of those things strain my sense of disbelief at all.
Really?
Yeah. Like, the doctor credentials are being handed out at random because the computer genuinely does not know. There is no person who's actually a qualified doctor available, and the computer needs to hand it out, so it hands it out to someone.
But that's part of why it doesn't make sense. Because the computer doesn't know who's human. If they did, there wouldn't be a problem. But you can only give credentials to, well, non-monsters, let's
Yeah.
say, because Otome and her horrible fingers count as a human for the purposes of this description.
She got little grabbies.
It's so fucking funny.
The ending shows sequences of all the characters. Gnosia and evil Otome with her evil little grabbies is great.
It's hilarious. But yeah, like the very fact that you can only give those roles out to people who aren't infected, but the computer can't know who's infected for the game to make sense.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Different systems and communication with different people, information security in different ways.
Meh.
Anyway, so you ready to hear about how this thing got made?
I felt like there was one more thing I needed to say.
Was it that Rakio is incredible and awful at the same time?
Oh, Rakio is horrid. Very hot though.
Yep. Can you be hot enough to get away with that personality? Oh no, I think they are.
Especially for someone who doesn't really like camp, because this is my great queer sin. I don't enjoy camp. But what I wanted to say was just that I was impressed with the fact that this, like, I don't particularly like the art style here, and I don't particularly like most of the character designs. Some of them I really respect, like Otome, like they just fucking went for it. They did not do, well, it's the weird space future, but everyone is just a human, maybe with different color skin or weirdo ears. They did some shit. They went places. But I was surprised that it did get me to actually like most of the characters.
Yeah.
Even if only briefly. Not all of them. Not the awful misogynist.
Nope.
Or the guy who's just pretending to be an awful misogynist. Yep. But everyone else who seemed flat or boring or unlikable was in fact kind of great. Even SQ, who, after her episode, I can't not love SQ.
Yep.
I was wrong, forgive me. Still fucking horrible outfit.
Yeah.
She looks so good in casual clothes.
One of the funniest things about SQ is that SQ's outfit has open panels on the thighs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she thinks is the hottest thing about her.
Just wildly incorrect. But, you know, once you know the story, it kind of makes sense that she wouldn't get it.
Yep. Alright.
Anyway, yeah, now tell me a story about how this game came to be an anime.
So the normal structure for this is, this thing was made by this person, published here.
Uh-huh.
Gnosia was an indie game. It was
cool.
Self-published by a team of 4 people.
That makes sense. Like, visual novels are so... Like, I assume this wasn't a straight visual novel, but it's gotta be almost entirely a visual novel, right?
Oh, yeah,
like, maybe it has some actual mystery gameplay elements.
The gameplay mechanic it has is werewolf. Right? Like, there's the...
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, you could encapsulate that into a game engine, which is literally just werewolf, but you could also just encode the werewolf choices into the visual novel without exposing the system of the game itself, as it were.
Yeah.
So that's the only distinction I'm drawing. Either way, essentially a visual novel, which is a very accessible fucking format for indies.
Mm-hmm. The anime was produced by Domerica, who brought in to write it the screenwriter Juki Hanada.
Uh-huh.
Does this name ring any bells for you?
It does not. Did they do the 9 series?
Juki Hanada. Screenwriting credits include Chobits, K-On!, Princess Jellyfish.
Oh, okay, so they write a shitload of cute girl stuff.
Steins Gate.
Okay.
Slayers. Sound Euphonium. Nichijo. A Place Farther Than the Universe. Bloom Into You. Girls Band Cry. Medalist. See You Tomorrow at the Food Court.
Ha!
Among 90 other.
Okay, so just a
credits.
like general bowl of screenwriter. Just worked on a shitload of stuff.
The earliest
some good,
stuff,
some bad. Definitely not a poor track record overall.
The earliest stuff, like Slayers and Chobits, is main screenwriter adapting an existing text. But stuff like Girls Band Cry and and Sound Euphonium, they were the head writer. They were like, this is my idea. Juki Hinata has basically invented... Oh, and also, Juki Hinata is one of the people responsible for Love Live. Like, I didn't bother putting it here because, like, why would you give a shit?
Well, I mean, that does inform the rest of the body of work.
Yeah.
There's a fucking lot of Love Live.
I showed Decay, Juki Hinata's screenwriting credits, at one point when I was watching Girls Band Cry and I had no one to enthuse about with. Hi, Decay. And Decay specifically phrased it as, oh, I see, invents 3 genres, refuses to elaborate, and leaves. Because... aside from this list of stuff they've worked on...
Sound Euphonium is on that list.
Yeah. Sound Euphonium, K-On! And Love Live.
So we shouldn't be surprised that this show is a bit queer, is what we're saying.
Yeah. And I don't know. Does that mean Juki Hinata has some amazing insight? Again, I don't know. But, yeah. This one they pulled in a real heavy hitter to write it, and Hinata has written a bunch of stuff that I like. And Hinata is the screenwriter behind Girls Band Cry and See You Tomorrow at the Food Court.
We did really like See You Tomorrow at the Food Court, which is almost entirely composed of writing, as it were.
Yeah,
like,
of taking...
It's just dialogue.
Of taking existing 4-coma and be like, alright, let's make a show out of that. Anyway.
That's a great show.
I really like Gnosia.
I think twice as much.
I think that if you're in the market to, like, watch, like, one anime a season... I think that Gnosia is probably the best one this season for that. It's not my favorite, but it's the one...
This would not be my one pick.
No, but, like, if you're not into anime and you're not used to dealing with the tropes of anime, this one's probably the closest to just a conventional sci-fi series.
Well... I don't know. It might just be that you're very used to the waters you swim in here, but, like...
That's fair.
For example, I feel like a normie would be more sensitive to why does everyone want to fuck the protagonist?
That doesn't need any explaining. Have you looked at Yuri? They're hot.
Well, I mean, that's true, but, like...
Anyway.
People just instantly want to jump them.
That's fair. It is, however, a series remarkably free of what I conventionally refer to as anime bullshit. And sometimes you do need to be pretty well steeped into a franchise space, and indeed steeped in the culture around it, to appreciate everything going on with a show. And that can sometimes lead to making something great that's hard to recommend.
It's true. And, like, this, for all that they're doing weird shit with sci-fi nonsense and whatnot, there is nary an instance of, like, 200-year-old lolicons or weird brain incest aliens or any of that shit going on. So, you know, I gotta hand it to you.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of being steeped in a genre space, this monster wants to eat me.
Watashi o tabetai hito denashi.
By Sai Nakagawa, published in Dengeki Mao by ASCII Media Works.
I don't think this is anime bullshit.
No, but explaining that this is an anime about not quite cannibalism, but it's a romantic metaphor. But it's also just cannibalism. You've got to get over some spaces on this one, and you've got to explain what a mermaid is in the context of Japan as opposed to Australia.
You do have to do that, but like considering how fetishy this could be, I think it's remarkably unfetishy. No, like
I'm not arguing.
I feel like this is restrained. Last season we watched There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless. Okay?
I thought you were going to bring up that the Summer Hikaru died, where someone fingers a wound.
There's also that. Anyway, this is this is a content warning. First up, actually, this is a show centered around a character with suicidal ideation. So if you're not down for that, you should mute this video until there's a new image on screen.
This is the last one, in fact. So just it's cool. Just
okay.
Give it...
Thank you for listening. Glad that you were here. Please go and stay safe.
Yes. It is really well represented realistic suicidal ideation. This is not, in the first episode, she is a bit sad, and in the last episode, they mention it a second time. No, this is the thing.
This is not a bullshit pitch for what is just a cute girls doing cute things show.
Nope.
This is a show about a teenage girl massively burdened by survivor's guilt after her entire family died and she somehow miraculously survived, and has been going through the motions of keeping herself alive out of a sense of obligation to her dead family. Until, spoiler, yokai are real. And one of them tries to kill her, at which point this character in the poster shows up, completely monsters that other yokai, and promises her that if she puts in the work to heal her emotional trauma to the point where she becomes very, very delicious, then she will graphically and horribly destroy and eat her utterly.
Yep.
They are also girlfriends? Question mark?
The names, by the way, of these characters are suicidally ideated protagonist is Hinako.
Is Hinako, and this is our second Shiori of the season, Shiori Omi.
And the bestie of
bestie is Miko.
Is Miko. Yeah. It's barely a twist once you actually, like, it's weird because, like, you know the genre of this series and then it's like, oh, okay, it's yokai and it's yokai and feelings.
Yokai and feelings, but this, once again, this is not, unlike Shabake, this is not a series where people are just, I'm a yokai and it'll never come up again.
Yep, it comes up. It matters.
It comes up a few times, yeah. Where to go with this?
Do you want to spoil the first big thing?
I mean, yeah, we're in spoiler territory, right?
Yeah, okay, so Miko, her best friend, is also a monster.
Is also a monster, but she is a monster who has reformed herself into a local deity. So she inhabits a shrine and she takes care of the people in this locale. And in fact, it's kind of a cute element of her personality that she has a lot of trouble refusing anyone who asks her for help.
Yep.
So there's the continuing thread where just she's helping out every club, she's doing every chore, she's doing every favor that every random neighbor asks of her, because this is, like, spiritual obligation. Anyway, so she's been watching over Hinako ever since, because she knew the family before the horrible event happened, and she's been just trying to keep her in the okay zone. She sort of understands you can't save her from this as such, but she's very, like, canny and has learned a lot about humans, so she gets the ways in which she can help with this, which is not much. And she's doing the best she can.
While also grappling with the problem that Hinako is delicious, she's having to take breaks from school to avoid wanting to eat Hinako.
Especially because the more powerful she gets, the more she wants to eat her, which is a fairly, like, standard yokai thing. Like, you know, the stronger you are, the more you want to consume because you can.
Yeah.
Turns out this isn't actually a problem for Shiori, though. Because the big liar reveal towards the end of the anime is that she actually doesn't want to eat Hinako because she can't find her delicious. Because it turns out they met when Hinako was, like, 6 or something. And in a misguided gesture of kindness, she gave her a little bit of yokai blood. And that makes them repulsive to the yokai who gives it, apparently. So this whole thing has actually been a lie and, like, a con job where it's, I'll trick you into self-care if that's all I can do. Because she's, in a very monstrous way, she already doesn't, unlike Miko, she doesn't understand humans, like, at all, but she's kind of trying, but she fucked up pretty badly last time.
Yeah, because she's why Hinako has the survivor's guilt. Because Hinako survived the crash.
Right.
Because of that yokai blood.
Because she had a little bit of yokai blood. I thought you meant she caused the crash, but yeah, no. Yeah. So she accidentally created the situation that Hinako is now in, and, like, obviously this does a fucking number on her just as she's sort of starting to get okay with this and maybe thinking, like, you know, it might be fine to have a girlfriend and enjoy being in her presence. And that all just goes to fucking shit.
There's also just some fun dealing with yokai monster of the week stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, that's how we find out about, like, very little of this is, like, episodic.
Yeah.
Because what you think is just, oh, here's another random monster attack, is the catalyst for revealing all of this stuff and outing the lie. and deeply complicating the whole situation from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is effectively a hurt comfort fic. Where the medium for comfort is bullying.
And the metaphor for sex is cannibalism. We'll totally get around to the cannibalism when our relationship has matured to the state that you're able to handle it.
Uh-huh. Which is pretty obviously a lie, but, in the end, she kind of has to promise it for real.
Yep.
In order to fend off the immediate consequences of the previous lie. So things continue to spiral, and they're kind of coy about where it's going, though. We do leave on, kind of a hopeful note of we see a path to being okay that can be traveled.
In the end, she frames it as, I did what I could to get her one more day. And quite frankly, that's...
Yeah.
As a coda of, that's what romance is like. Or that's what having someone in your life with a mental illness is like.
Yes.
We do what we can to make today okay. I buy that as a very potent metaphor. I can understand there are lots of readings of it that are not nearly as kind to the idea.
Well, no, but also, Hinako repeats, without ever hearing it, that exact same thing.
Yeah.
As the denouement for the whole series. That's where she is at that point. She also, right now, just wants to prolong things for another day.
Yeah. And that's all you can fight for.
Whatever gets you there, right?
Yeah. The next breath is the only thing you got. Anyway, this series...
It's really good.
This series is really good, very thoughtful, looks fucking incredible when it's trying.
Realistically distressing.
Uh-huh.
Surprisingly less horny than I imagined it was going to be, and I'm glad for that. And
now the thing that really annoys me, the manga's not finished.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with this one. Alright, you good?
And also, didn't promise me monsters and then not deliver them.
Look, we could go through the whole season and compare things to Shabake, and aside from the stuff we dropped, it's never going to look good for Shabake.
Uh-huh. Also, they all have really good hair. Hinako's hair in particular is, I just really like her.
Yeah,
her
yeah. Considering, the simplicity of her archetype, they could have given her... she looks really good.
Oh, they're wearing the long-sleeved high-neck shirt under the fucking sailor uniform transforms that whole look into something much cooler.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's because I've seen it on the, what's that archetype called? The schoolgirl delinquent, the long skirt and the mask.
I know the one you're talking about.
You do, and you can't remember it either. That's so annoying.
Yeah,
Right.
And
that one. Maybe it's because it's reminiscent of that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the name for it, but I can't open a browser
We
window
don't
right
need to
now.
make the listener wait while we think about it.
Yep.
Tell us in the comments if you remember better than us, and then you can feel smart about yourself.
Yeah, I'm complete. This is going to annoy the shit out of me. But
we gotta leave it.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. This was a pretty great season.
Yeah.
I was surprised by things that I had no hopes for. I was only really disappointed by one thing, because I never expected any of the 3 drops to impress me. I was willing to entertain the possibility, but I didn't expect it.
Yep. What I will ask you for framing. The worst thing we finished this season.
The worst thing we finished
is probably Shabake, right?
Is Tono Yugure.
Oh, yeah, good point. I forgot that existed. You're right.
Shabake disappointed me. Tono Yugure made me angry.
Yeah, that one sucks.
Yeah.
Is it worse than Blue Box? Because Blue Box made me mad.
You know what? I think so.
Yeah.
Because I expected more from it, and it looked worse. Blue Box was beautiful to look at, and was just boring. Tono Yugure had fucking laser swords.
And was also boring.
And, 12 identical murder robot sisters. and somehow it was both bad and boring.
Yep. Oh, and
It had a fucking polycule ending, and it was still boring and disappointing. And somehow I was still angry at the polycule ending for desperately trying not to happen for 12 episodes before finally giving in.
uh-huh. Also, I just realized I'd had our avatars on the wrong layer for quite some time.
Oh, you didn't... I thought we were missing on purpose. I thought that's the thing you did.
Oh, they're not supposed to show on that screen. But
on any of the other screens.
Yeah, they're not going to show on anything.
They were never there.
They were never there. But they're there now.
They were never here. You saw nothing.
Yes, the goblin now is to disappear.
Not on my screen, we're not.
Well, this isn't going to show them anyway. Nonetheless, thank you so much for sharing time with me. Thank you so much for watching anime with me. I love doing this, and I love getting to talk to you about it.
Always a pleasure. Even if sometimes you make me sit through Toho no Yugure and I make you sit through Shabake.
You didn't have to take notes for Toa.
I didn't have to take notes for either of them.
I'm saying I had to take notes for Shabake.
I mean...
You asked harder things of me.
No.